What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Honest Tattooer podcast. My name is Jon Mesa, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Truiano.
Hey, how you doing?
G Money.
What's poppin'?
And our very special guest, Kai. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming.
And guys, this show is brought to you by Tattoo Smart, Tattoo Pro, and Steadfast Tattoo Supplies. If you want to support the podcast, make sure that you visit our sponsors. They really do help us out a lot. Tattoo Smart has a beautiful new washi set of brushes that you should definitely check out.
And papers.
And papers.
Yes.
I haven't checked those out yet, so
Yeah.
I definitely want to check them out.
Yeah.
So let's carry on with the show.
Absolutely.
So, Kai, so for those that don't know you, let them know your full name, where you're from, how long you've been tattooing, and what kind of tattoos you do.
My name is Kai Watai.
Get nice and close.
I've been tattooing for 16 years this year, and I specialize in Polynesian tattoos.
Sick.
Heck yeah.
I feel like that's awesome that you do. So last week we had a friend that does Polynesian tattoos,
Yeah.
and he started kind of telling us a little bit about it. How did you get involved in tattooing?
I started my apprenticeship, half my life now, because I was 16 when I started.
Ooh, nice early start.
Yeah, I was in high school. I was a senior, and I started apprenticing that year. I actually ended up dropping out to and getting my GED and pursuing tattooing.
Yeah.
But I started at a shop called Native Flesh, where the owners were these like huge guys from the Big Island with like half their faces tattooed. But I was there for like 2 years. Yeah. And then I moved to Maui for another year for apprenticeship.
Wow.
Cool.
So
Pretty
I
sick.
don't know much about Hawaii at all. So what is the Big Island?
Okay, so the Big Island is the biggest island of Hawaii. And then we also have an active volcano. So it's like continuously getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just keeps growing.
When did you first start getting exposed to tattoos? I feel like it's something that you saw probably at an early age, right?
Yeah, my mom took me to watch her get tattooed probably when I was like 13 or 14.
Mhm.
And I think that's when it happened because it was so cool.
Because then by
Like,
16 you were going.
yeah, but and luckily my parents, my mom especially, was super supportive. Like she helped me get my apprenticeship.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I think I'm super lucky for that.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, at 16, when you're doing your apprenticeship, did you get tattoos at that young also?
My 16th birthday, I got my first tattoo.
Right on.
I was actually curious to ask you guys, what is the age limit here? Do you guys have one?
In New York, it's 18.
So you
In New York
can't get
City.
tattooed younger, like legally.
You're
Legally,
not
right.
supposed to.
Yes.
But can you legally?
No.
So no. So actually, it's crazy. I just had somebody reach out to me today, and it was like, "Hey, you were recommended, and I wanted to get a tattoo for my son. He's 15. He wants to get a matching like Sanskrit design that his dad has." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. Like, I just can't do it." I was like, "You can try so there's neighboring states. I think Connecticut. It's like maybe."
Jersey
In
is
Jersey.
16.
And Jersey 16.
I don't know about Connecticut.
So the laws do vary.
Yeah, I think Hawaii is like one of the out of, I don't know, 12 states maybe, where legally you can get tattooed at any age.
At any age.
Whoa.
Yeah, as long as you have parental consent and then the artist agrees to it.
Okay.
Where did that 8-year-old kid just get tattooed?
Oh man. I didn't even see the whole post of that, but I remember it flowing around.
But it was legal, right? Like it was one of those states where you could do it at any age.
I don't know.
It was in the U.S.?
In a
Yeah,
shop.
yeah.
I didn't think that was in the US.
No, I think it was.
It was?
I think so. I mean, I could be botching this whole story right now, but I think it was.
They just want to be like, "Hey Jamie, pull it up. Pull it up, Jamie."
We need a Jamie on the laptop.
Jamie, pull it up. Look it up. For real, because I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, speaking of underage tattoos, did you hear about the one? Again, I don't know where this was, but it was in the States where these kids were like, I think they were in maybe they're like 10 years old-ish. They were tattooing each other in class, hand poking themselves, and then just passing the same needle
Whoa.
throughout the entire class.
How else do you
During
think?
class.
Yeah, so there was a whole big news thing about it. And the mom's like, how does a teacher not see that all these kids are tattooing themselves in class?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I thought they were using a Bic pen.
Oh man. Wow. That's wild. So yeah, but for here, those are the rules here.
Yeah, I asked because last week, I think my shop, we did like 3 kids who were 14 years old.
With their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a cultural thing there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it, to be honest.
Can you adjust your mic just a little bit more to get it closer to her? Just so she doesn't.
Yeah. Hold on.
Better?
No, anything. I'll just.
Okay. Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much better. There we go.
Sweet.
All right, continue. Sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. But I was just thinking, like, is this normal? Because, like, it's a big deal for us to tattoo 14 because we can refuse to do it. But sometimes we know the families and we get asked. Yeah, but it's like a 50-50 chance. It's way different doing a 14-year-old. I was just curious if you guys do that out here.
No, not here.
The youngest I've tattooed somebody is 15, and it was in Nova Scotia. I was doing a guest spot, and they booked the appointment for me. I had no idea. They were like, "No, it's cool," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean it's cool?" I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah." Like her family is here. They're fine with it. I was like, "Oh, that's weird."
And you did it?
I did it, yeah. Because it was something with like her grandma passed away, and it was something that I felt that I was like, "Oh, this is not." It wasn't in like it wasn't on her face. It wasn't on her hand, you know. It was like in her arm, like her grandma's name and, you know, some dates. Like, what's wrong with that?
She was probably stoked.
And she was stoked.
All right, so I got a question to ask the room, which I kind of feel like I know your answer already because you just talked about it. But if you were asked by a family member of yours who's 15 years old to get tattooed for a loved one who passed away, would you do it?
Only if my uncle said it was cool.
Yeah?
Yeah. If their parents said it was cool, it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel weird about it.
It depends on the design, for sure.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah. If it's
It's
like
like-
some flaming dice or something like that, you know, some Joker face.
I just thought of like, I really want to get this Dragon Ball Z to commemorate Grandpa. Really? That's really the reason I want to get it. We're like, nah.
Must have loved Shenron.
Yeah. Grandpa really loves Shenron as a full sleeve. Come on, Uncle John, do it. You're like, no way. No way.
But yeah. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
Except a Shenron tattoo, full sleeve, sick.
That's sick. Yeah.
That actually would be really cool.
What if you wanted it like on his hand?
Then no.
Then no.
No.
Placement matters.
Placement matters.
Placement does matter.
Placement matters a lot.
In general, like tattooing a 14-year-old is like not a good idea. And we always like talk them through it because we'll get these kids who are like going through puberty and then we'll tell them like this tattoo's gonna fucking stretch. And especially if they're like Samoan or Hawaiian, they're gonna be big dudes.
Yeah.
So we make it known, but we always tell them first, make sure they understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
My fear would be that I tattoo some like 15-year-old, then like 15 years later, I'm watching late night TV and there's an episode of Cops. And that kid's there and they're like, what happened to your life? And they're like, I got a tattoo when I was 15. And then I'm going to feel terrible. That would be the worst. I just went for a life of crime after that first tat. I could never replace it.
Damn you, Jon Mesa!
Exactly, dude. That would be the worst. So like, I don't know. I think about that. I'm like, I don't want to ruin anybody's future. Just be an adult.
Let their parents do that.
Then ruin it.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know? That'd be cool. So after you went from your first shop, how's the tattoo scene in Hawaii? Was it a matter of like going to, are you still at that shop?
No, I've bounced around a lot. I have my own shop now. I've had that for like 2 years. I was a walk-in artist for probably 10 years. And then after COVID, I don't know if this happened to you. I mean, I'm sure you guys are all pretty busy, but after COVID, that's when I started like scheduling out farther and farther. And it was like consistent for like 5 years now. But yeah, I don't know why it happened after COVID. Everyone just had their money and then it just was consistent.
After that moment, everybody, I feel like, had a little bit of extra money and less desire to like do all these like trips or, you know, spend money on things that weren't immediate. Like, oh, I want to get immediate
I
gratification.
want to spend my money now.
now on something.
Yeah.
I want a tattoo and I
Since
want
I'm
it
stuck
now.
here and I don't want to travel anywhere.
Yeah. I'll get that. And I have extra money. Thanks, Daddy Trump.
Thanks, Trump checks.
Trump bucks.
Trump bucks.
Trump bucks.
Stim bucks.
The stim bucks. Everybody loved the stimmies.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, people loved it.
When
So
that happened,
This is going to be me not knowing anything about Hawaii, but in my very limited opinion about it is that like all of Hawaii is just like paradise and vacation land. Is that true or is that untrue? So like my question about it is like the walk-ins that you're getting, are they locals or are they people vacationing?
For me, because I'm like born and raised, my clientele has always been half and half, even if I was a walk-in artist.
cool.
Just because I have like a lot of family and then friends and all that stuff. But no, it's like it's very, very touristy there. So the tourists are always there. So if you're like on a busy street, you're pretty consistent. Yeah.
Is everywhere touristy?
No. So Oahu is another island, and then Honolulu, like Waikiki, that place is, I'd say, pretty similar to here. I mean, but minus the temperature, but it's very, very city.
Oh, no shit.
Big
Oh,
city
yeah.
with a lot of people.
It's
going
wild.
On,
Like I can't drive there because I can't drive in the city. Like I don't know how you guys drive here. It's wild.
We don't know.
It's crazy. But yeah, Oahu is like that, or just Waikiki area. The other islands are very country. Very country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. I would have never thought that.
Everyone's barefoot, growing their own food.
I wish.
That's my end goal.
Yeah. You sound like you want to go to Hawaii and you want to like
Just 'cause
live the life.
I'm like I'm a city boy, but I have one foot in and one foot out. Like I'm a nature boy by like
Yeah.
default. Like I
Yeah.
love being out in the wild and the mountains, the ocean, the lakes,
I
So
get that.
all that, like, you know, like growing up, I did a lot of that kind of stuff. I had
Yeah.
freedom, but
And that's funny because everyone wants to come to Hawaii because it's such a paradise and you get like the beaches and it is country. So you can like breathe and you can be somewhere where there's only just trees and fruits. But like my husband, like he is from the island and he loves the city. Like he's
Yeah.
attracted to the city.
for sure.
So it's vice versa, you know. That's all
It's
we
just
know.
there's different just different energies that, you know, once depends on what point of your life you might be in, where you're at specifically in that time. You might want one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess for what I do too, I pull from nature like every day. So if I'm uninspired or I'm going down this rabbit hole of research, I'll go somewhere. So I'll go to the ocean or I'll go to the mountains. And you kind of like you feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your artwork though, it looks very like nature inspired. And I was wondering where you pull that from.
I don't know how to answer that.
Just
'Cause
like the palettes are very earthy.
well, I mean that's just because of the whole Art Nouveau era that I kind of
Where do you get all that stuff from, Matt?
I steal it. That it's funny because when I was very early on, when I was painting, everything was like super bright primary colors, and it took me a while to understand that has an amateur look to it, and I'm sure that people can pull it off a lot better than I did. I was also very young when I was doing it too, so that had a lot to do with why it looked so, you know, rookie. But I kind of took the approach that like luxury brands, they have a very limited palette. Almost like think about Apple. When Apple was very early on in their branding, they had, you know, the iMac, which is like rainbow. Everything was rainbow colors. Every computer was a different color. And then once they became more of a luxury brand and like very expensive, everything went sleek.
Everything
went
toned
silver, gray.
Pastel-y too.
Yeah. So I kind of took that approach and I was trying to think like, what could I do to make my work look a little bit more, I don't want to say expensive because that's not the way, but like a little
Grown
bit more
up.
like grown up. Yeah. There you go.
One thing that I think about people that lived in like beautiful kind of tropical or vacation like places, like where you live, I'm like, what is your usual work day look like?
Ooh.
Half of mine is traffic.
Shit. Yeah, I see that. I know we complain about traffic where we're from, and we come here and we're just like, fuck, we're going home and we're gonna be so thankful.
And enjoying it.
Yeah. Frick. Well, I guess I manage a shop for the first time, so that's a whole new thing. Just making sure everybody's good. Before I came out here, I think I was working every day for a month straight. I got sick for 2 days and I took 2 days off, but I work a lot. And then we have kids. So yeah, I get in there, usually stay in there for about 8-9 hours. First half of the day is usually a big piece. So it's either like a full sleeve or a half sleeve sessions that we're working on. And then I do a smaller tattoo at the end of the day. That's like my daily routine. And then we do jujitsu if we can to get some steam off, and we go home.
Nice.
How long is your commute?
Cool.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And we live by the ocean.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
It smells like ocean everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
We do take it for granted now that we're here.
Now you're ooh, that sweet
Yo.
fish smell. Well, when you get back to your ocean, you're like, oh, that stinky rat and fish smell from Chinatown was delicious.
I miss the smell of bum piss on the sidewalk. Lower East Side.
The Lower East Side.
Yeah. You remember that, honey? I know.
It's like trash. It's terrible, but it has its own magic. It has its
That's
own.
literally what
Do you
we
remember
were
that
talking
guy
about.
that smiled? He barely had any teeth and he asked us for $5. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. There's something about this city, man. It's allure. It's really good. So, do you start? What time do you start?
Usually like anywhere between 9 and 11.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Early.
Yeah.
So you're done by like 5.
Depends how long my second appointment
Second
is.
appointment is.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good though.
So the other day, maybe you saw this. I put a thing on Instagram. It was supposed to be people being on my side when I said no one wants to get tattooed at 9 a.m. But I got ratioed in the comment section. Everyone's like, Joe, I'd rather do 9 a.m. I'd rather do the earlier appointments, the better. So I can just get out of there, hang out with my kids. And now like more and more people are commenting on it. You obviously now are saying like 9 o'clock in the morning is the way to go.
That's early for me too, though.
It's early.
That's
Yeah.
an early day.
So I get up and I get my kids ready, and then I go to work and I go straight, or I take them to school and I go straight to work. So usually the people who ask for earlier are also parents who have that time
that
frame
little school gap.
before their kids get out. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just both like being parents, like doing our thing, and then we're like, okay, I gotta go get my kid. Yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would like to try that,
Me too.
but I do not want to have to drive down here during rush hour.
No, the 9 a.m. traffic sounds
Fuck that.
awful.
Oh, that's
Fuck
horrible.
that.
You have a 5-minute at 9 a.m. commute. That's 5 minutes at 9 a.m. Sounds great, especially if you're by the water. But a 5-minute crossing the GW,
Bumper to bumper.
bumper to bumper.
Oh, Lord.
So we get the morning traffic report, and just across the river, oftentimes at 9 o'clock in the morning, is about 45 minutes.
Wow, just on the bridge across
Just
the river.
across the bridge, 45 minutes.
Whoa,
That's gross.
How do you guys make it on time every day?
leave real early.
Like real early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
Leave
sense.
real early.
That's why we start at 2 o'clock in the
That's why we
afternoon.
started at 2 in the afternoon, though. We started late.
I've never heard more car honks in my life than the past few days.
How are we supposed to say I'm walking here?
Does that actually happen?
Well, even more so now because everyone's literally just effing off on their phone when they shouldn't be. Every time I see somebody in front of me and the light turns green, like,
Beep.
yeah. Yeah. Beep, really instantly.
Yeah.
It's like they give you no time. Even if you knew.
I love that.
Hey.
I love that.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you?
hey,
It's
hey.
like they're waiting with their hand on the horn.
Oh, yeah,
As
they
soon-
punch it.
As soon as the light turns green.
Yeah,
like
be
they know the answer in Family Feud. It's like,
I wish my tints weren't that dark so I can just look on the rearview mirror and be like, I'm paying. I was gonna push the gas pedal. Like I'm going. Like relax. I'm not.
Dude,
Not on my phone.
where I'm from though, like if you honk at the wrong person, you're fighting.
they're coming out. They're like,
Oh yeah, and it's a big
What's your
uncle.
problem?
Yeah. So it's over here. It's so different. Like,
Would
It's
you
just
say
expected here.
do people
you
not
say-
fight here?
that's so crazy though?
Here,
Why
people
would
will
there-
do this. People will literally give each other the finger,
Yeah.
2 feet away from each other, and walk away 5 feet, give each other the finger.
Really?
Walk away 10 feet, give each other the finger.
Yeah.
Go
And,
fuck yourself.
No.
No, you go fuck
They'll keep
yourself.
going.
Yeah.
So they're
Your
on the
mother.
side.
They're like, yo, I'm fucking.
Yeah, that's the New York way.
And it's just like, and they're getting farther and farther away from each other. That's surprising to me, because it's like you would think that living in a place like that would give you more like non-fighting kind of like, well, screw you, you honked at me, instead of a like, let's square off right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I guess
I think I
are
don't know.
Hawaiians hot-headed? What's going on, guys?
We're
Fighters?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Brawlers.
Yeah, like there's never like, I mean, I can't really say now because there's not as many like Hawaiians. Not that I'm like proud of this part of us, but like there's not as many like locals. But before, if you had a problem with somebody, you fight them and then shake hands after.
Shake hands, yeah. Just
And it's always one-on-one. There's like, you don't got to worry about stuff. But like nowadays, there's more like guns and knives.
Right.
These days. Yeah.
no more shooting a fair one to resolve your, right? You never know.
So, Polynesian tattooing. Did you start off doing Polynesian from the beginning, or was it something that, I mean, I feel like it's you growing up there. It's part of your culture.
Yeah.
So, how did you specialize in it?
So where I apprenticed, they specialize in Polynesian, and they basically taught me Polynesian. So when you're in, I guess in like Hawaii or Polynesia, you do see Polynesian everywhere. Like in high school, mostly, not me. I wasn't really interested in Polynesian until I started tattooing, but boys would be drawing it on their binders and stuff, you know, in school. That was super normal, or drawing on each other with Sharpies. But I didn't know anything about designs and stuff. But those 2 years I learned designs. I learned how to put them together, and then I was just like put out to work. Before I was even licensed, I was pushed to work. Like, yeah, but it's been a long journey learning more designs. I've actually had to fact check myself in the past few years, because the designs I learned, I wasn't sure if it was correct. Because I would see the same designs, and I would ask different artists I met and stuff, like, what does this mean? All this stuff, and sometimes it'd be completely wrong. And so I'd have to like, now I research heavy, like on multiple cultures, mostly Hawaiian, because Hawaiian is one that was like lost only 100 years ago. We pretty much lost it. So that one is hard because there's like nothing to find to research.
I think that's exactly what Ozzy was talking about
Yeah.
too when he
Yeah,
said that there.
I heard about what he was saying, and he's correct about what he was talking about, like pe'as and the Samoan culture, and they've been tattooing the longest of everybody, over 2,000 years,
Right.
unbroken,
Right.
like consistent.
And they still have that like to go back on. And, like,
Yeah.
nothing's lost.
Samoans, out of all the Polynesians, are the ones who have kept their shit like yeah. But Tongans, Tahitians, Maori, we all lost it at some point within the last like 150 years maybe. So
Shoot.
we're all in the same boat, kind of trying to revive it.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's all due to just colonization and just culture being kind of lost over time. And
Mostly religion, yeah. So Christianity,
Yeah,
So
right.
they would basically the same story everywhere. So they come and they say Christianity is the only true religion. Everything else that you do, like for Hawaiians, it's everything. Language, hula, tattooing is banned, or yeah. That was only in my grandma's generation.
wow.
That was only less than 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So a full generation completely lost. And Hawaiian culture is spoken. It's a spoken language and history. So before Captain Cook came, there was no written anything. Everything was spoken. So once they cut
Right.
that off, it was very little things to go off of.
Wow.
So
It's
what's
like,
the process of getting all that back? Like, how do you figure it out?
Well, for me, I'm like a nerd the fuck out on that shit. So I've read like Captain Cook logs. Like I go back and try to find as much things. I go deep into like mythology and stuff. So Hawaiians supposedly came from Tahiti. All the Polynesian cultures are similar. Our language is similar. The designs we use are similar. So I kind of base that off of that's why Polynesian is one style. It's all the cultures in
Yeah.
one style. unless you go off into one. So it's only Samoan or only Hawaiian. But Hawaiian, luckily, is pretty simple. It's like very geometric, a lot of triangles and squares.
Right.
But now it's evolving. So now we're able to evolve it
Cool.
as well as the people are evolving.
And still keep it Hawaiian in a
Yeah,
way.
as long as the roots are there,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to evolve it. I don't think
It's like re-knowing all the rules so that you can kind of shape it and mend it
yeah.
along with the core foundations that you're starting to rediscover again.
Yeah, because when I started, I wasn't sure if I was like deep in there, like if I knew what I was doing. So I had to go back and understand what I'm doing is right. And then now I'm evolving. And it's for the people. That's the only reason I do all of that is for my clients.
Maybe you know this, but maybe there is no answer to this. The 90s tribal armband and like the tribal sleeves that you always see, like these affliction guys. Is there any roots behind that? Is that stem from anything, or is that just some guy drawing some shapes?
American tribal.
That's American tribal, yeah. Just American tribal.
There are some shapes in there that are Maori. So they're like korus. So they're like swirlies. Those are like the root of a fern, the shoot. So some of them have designs like that, but not really. It's very like just long and sharp and then
Right.
the hard edge and then.
But I guess my question is like, is there a long history of that, or is it just something that came recently?
That's recent.
That's recent.
Yeah, that's recent. Like when you look at that tribal, I feel like there's inspiration from multiple things in it, from all the kind of more tribal cultures and designs, even like some of those like little curly designs, like remind me of like Celtic designs,
Yeah.
and like how some of the tribal would overlap and come out the other side is just all black.
Yeah. All right. Continue. I'm sorry.
I don't know which path you want me to go down. I could go forever.
Well, I see that you brought some stuff there from Hawaii that whether by the time it's too late, we'd ask you a little bit about, that
lace?
cultural part of, the lays. Like, what,
Well, I brought them for you guys because I'm, these lays, I could have made you guys lays and I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if they were going to survive. So I brought you
because it's
lays.
traditionally supposed to be like flowers and like live.
Yeah, I was going to make you
botanicals.
tea leaf lays. So those ones would have been a process, but I would have had to freeze them maybe and see if they
Wow.
would have stayed good.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was going to bring you guys some fancy ones.
Fancy lace.
I was, but I was like, I don't want to give you dead flowers.
You were already so nice with the care package, so
Thank
we
you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's just how I would do it, I guess. Yeah, but
Super nice, but if we flick you guys off, we're fighting.
well now we know.
Don't honk
Like,
at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when
that makes perfect sense.
when
Don't
in New
take
York,
advantage.
do as the New Yorkers do. So I'm learning. But these were gifts. So these were gifts to me. So I
Cool.
feel like these have like a little bit. They're more special to give
Awesome.
versus buying somewhere.
I'm gonna
All
flip
three
it.
of them are different.
Burp.
Doesn't matter
to me,
whichever
There we go.
See, this one is yours.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you a hug too.
thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This isn't racist.
I'm gonna get Matt over there.
Huh?
Thank you so much.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Look at that. Thank you.
Yeah,
This is
thank you
sick.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What? All right.
You look like a Kuma over there.
Take that to your daughter and tell her it's from Tiffy.
Absolutely, I will.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna like meditate under a waterfall. Just like that's so sick. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Steadfast Tattoo Supply, owned and operated by professional working tattoo artist Frankie Porcelli, demanding top-performing materials, from the highest quality pigments and medical supplies, to tailor-made needles and cartridges with true line weights. Steadfast also specializes in custom machines built from scratch in-house and offers professional or group machine building seminars. Steadfast does everything to keep you and your clients covered. Steadfast, supplies that work as hard as you do.
how do you feel? And this is coming, I'm asking this question to like somebody who's Hawaiian. How do you feel about Polynesian tattoos being so popular that everyone of every like race and culture getting them? Like, where do you stand on that fence?
Yeah, I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my clients, even from like Hawaiians, they bring it up sometimes. Tell me how they feel about it. Everyone's different. The artist and the client. I don't really have a say on what's correct and what's not correct. I can just hope that the artists who are doing it do their job where they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they educate the person they're tattooing, whether or not they want it. So like, just be like, this design means something. They're not crazy meanings. It's usually like family, strength protection, guidance, growth, things like that. They're usually really good.
But yeah, they're not supposed to be random for like.
Yeah, there definitely are designs that you can't tattoo. For every culture has certain designs.
Right.
So they're reserved for either that person from that culture.
Or like a status symbol, right? Like a.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also family designs. So almost like family crests, but they're Polynesian designs. So sometimes you have to watch out. That's why people shouldn't copy designs off of like Pinterest or Instagram. Just go to a Polynesian artist that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's all custom.
Yeah.
Sick when it's custom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. All original, hand drawn.
Yeah. Do you stencil any of that, or do you draw it all on?
Yeah, I'd say like 95% freehand.
Freehand.
The only time I stencil is if I'm given a drawing, and I'll stencil the drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be.
That's the way to do it. I mean, that's the only way you're really gonna like get accurate, like most importantly, flow. And then be able to really kind of like just use the muscle groups to know how you segment things off. It's so important because I've seen so many bad ones, and then you just see some designs that, although they look simple, it wasn't, because it's just perfectly crafted, like where the line breaks or where there's like a diagonal running through the muscle group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, it's really interesting.
I think Ozzy, he mentioned Zay too. He's in Utah. It's one of my good friends. He's from the same island as me.
That's awesome.
He tattooed me in his house.
Nice.
Wow.
And he's badass. He's so sick. And he's a really good guy. Yeah.
Cool.
So one question that we asked Ozzy, I'm going to ask you too. What makes a good Polynesian tattoo?
Ooh.
We could always say like, I know it's good if I see it, and I know it's not good too. But
That's
I can't.
true.
But like, yeah, how do you put that into words?
You can't. You can't, because there's so many styles. So if you're doing like a Tahitian tattoo, it's thin, flowy, clean, small lines. If you're doing Samoan tattoos, it could be also tight, small lines. It could also be very bold.
Okay.
Like if he was talking about a pe'a.
Yeah.
I've seen pe'as being done before in someone's house. One of the Suluapes, I think it was Peter, one of the sons. He came to Hawaii and tattooed a group of maybe 10 guys who they all came from different islands to do it together. So they do it together, as a group, and it takes about 2 weeks. And one of my friends from Maui, I seen him in Target and with some of my classmates, and they were walking funny. And I was like, Chato. I was like, Chato, what are you doing here? He's like, bro, we're getting tattoos done. And he showed me, and they had just done the inner thighs that day.
Ouch.
So the pe'as go anywhere from the belly button down to your knee.
Wow.
And
They're
they
like
tap
shorts,
it,
right?
but it goes in your butt crack.
Whoa.
Solid black. It goes in the back of your leg, in the groin, solid black.
Wow.
Oh,
That
And it
Yay.
takes 2 weeks to complete.
Oh,
So they'll do
man.
like 4 hours at a time every day.
And how are they being applied? Are they using machines, or are they tapping it
Tapping.
Yeah.
tapping.
Some Samoan style is like traditional is tapping. And they drink kava. I mean, I don't think they drink kava. I don't think they're allowed to. Yeah, there's a whole thing to it, like traditionally. Even Hawaiian tattoos do. You gotta like clean your body before you do it.
Yeah, like a detox, right?
Yeah, you have to. Some
Whoa.
people need you to be able to recite your genealogy. That's really important in Maori and Hawaiian culture. So in Maori it's like whakapapa. And then in Hawaiian it's mokuauau.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to know those before getting tattoos so that the artist can put it together for you.
Yeah.
Do you use a machine?
I do.
Do you ever tap?
Okay, so I wanted to when I started. I really wanted to, but I was studying and I heard that women aren't traditionally allowed to.
Oh, wow.
I think it's like a really old tradition where women aren't supposed to make men bleed.
Oh.
So I never pursued it because I felt like I don't want to go down that, like, you know, like fight with people. I also wasn't raised super deep in Hawaiian, so I don't speak Hawaiian. And I think you would have to be able to know a lot more, like, of the deeper culture to be able to do that.
But you're still making people plead.
Plus,
I know.
Everybody
Every day.
Everybody, please.
look at all the like in Japanese culture, the Japanese tattooing, right? You could do it tabori, right? And there still are some people doing tabori, but
Yeah.
even a lot of the old tabori masters now are using machine. You know, it's just, I get the efficiency of it, the speed. You know, you don't have to wait as long
For sure.
in between sessions. So
There's definitely something special for the tatau, or in Hawaiian it's kakao. There's something about it, like the rhythmic tapping, the positions you're in, this whole ceremonial part of it. It brings you back to like your ancestors, and it's a very special thing for sure. I feel like I'm more of a modern Hawaiian, and so I feel like I represent my clientele who are also modern Hawaiians.
yeah,
So we're not deep in the culture. We're Hawaiian. We also fucking like, I don't know. We do all the things. We
Playing
listen to all
Xbox.
the hell yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, we are. But those are the kids that I'm tattooing. You know,
no, of course.
we also have we want to bridge our culture, like our connection.
Exactly.
And we're also in the step in the modern world. So I feel like that's my job, is to be able to do that for those people.
True.
So is I don't know how to say this without sounding completely stupid.
Do it.
So in the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall,
Is that, wait,
Mila Kunis's character was saying
is
that
that what Adam Sandler?
no,
that's 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
We just watched that. That's a good movie.
Mila
Fuck
Kunis's
it.
character was saying something like they were talking about movies, and she was like, "Oh, you know, we're on an island. We're like kind of behind in the times." Is that true? Is that like, are you guys like kind of behind a little bit?
I
I feel
don't
like
know about
island
now.
time is a little bit behind. I mean, I'm from Dominican Republic, which is also an island, and I feel like they are always like a little bit behind.
I think with like all the trends and stuff, we're like maybe like 3-6 months behind.
Okay,
And
so
I
that-
noticed that when I was a kid, because I would be like into hey there Delilah, what's it like in New York City? And then we'd go to the mainland, and it was all these songs I'd never heard of, like the top 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I would be listening to them like, oh yeah, I love that song. And then I go to Hawaii and it didn't even come out yet.
Wow.
So it's like a couple months behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you like talking about like culture wise, like no, we're up on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
especially with the internet now.
With the
yeah,
internet,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything trending is gonna.
Yeah, I was emo as fuck in high school. like I listened to screamo. I was skating. Like I was not like a Hawaiian kid. I was like,
That's you know what kills me. That's funny. Like just to think of think emo. Always just think of like dark hoodie, just like and then you're like in the
Pasty white kid.
sunshine. You're like in the sunshine
at
trying
the
to be
beach,
emo.
all sad.
All Saturdays.
That's so
all
funny.
sad, wearing all black at the beach.
It's beautiful out here, right? It's all right.
No, it's totally sad. I hate it.
My dad grounded me yesterday.
Fuck these turtles.
Yeah. Fuck
I
these
know.
turtles.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Dude, that's so funny.
What else we got?
Pineapples.
Pineapples.
Ooh.
Coconuts, right? Is it coconuts that are more than pineapples there?
The guy who the Dole Company, one of the founders, I believe it was the founder or the brother, they were the main ones who overthrew the Hawaiian kingdom.
Oh wow.
Oh man,
So I don't know if you guys know about Hawaiian history.
Yeah.
But, so
I
like
would love to hear.
I know a little bit
Oh,
about it,
it's
but
sad.
please share because I know it's sad.
Maybe that's why I'm so emo.
Yeah, it's sad.
The shit's
It's very
sad.
sad.
Yeah, I think it
Effed
was
up.
1956. I don't. Oh my god, Hawaiians are gonna come after me if I get the year
I'm
wrong.
never gonna buy Dole ever again.
No, so basically the Hawaiian Kingdom started with the sugarcane trade. From then also we had so many not farmers. I'm blanking out. Anyway, a lot of Hawaiians are also mixed with Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, Filipino. Like there's rarely Hawaiians left, a few. But because of the trade, the queens and the kings at those times were trying to make deals and stuff. And then all the different countries were coming over. Eventually the U.S.
When was this?
This started in like the 1900s.
Okay.
Captain Cook first came in the late 1700s. I don't know if you know about that either.
Share it. Go ahead, finish the story first.
So by like the 1950s, the American government, basically, it was called the Bayonet Constitution, and they had a bayonet to the Queen's head and forced her to sign a treaty.
Damn.
So sad. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And so basically, the Hawaiian Kingdom gave up all their rights. And so... yeah, basically. And not only that, but we also lost our language, lost our culture around that same time.
Whack.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the late 1700s, Captain Cook came to Hawaii, and they killed him.
Wow.
That's a whole story, too. They thought he was a god.
When he came over?
Yeah, he came over, and he came during a season, the Makahiki season, that was like a peaceful season. And then he came back, and something happened where he like took one of the princes as hostage, and then the Hawaiians killed him. It was on Valentine's Day. But Captain Cook's a huge, like, big figure. I was reading all his logs. He was the one who discovered all of Polynesia.
That's very Pirates of the Caribbean right now. Like it feels like a story from like there, right? Like just straight up, like this guy showed up by himself, took a prince or princess, who knows?
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely. And that kind of history is, jeez.
I mean, it happens a lot. You know, I talk to like Native Americans, Eskimos, like a bunch of people. It's always sounds about the same.
We just finished watching a series like called The Terror, and it's about these people that got stuck in like think of like Canada, as far up as you can go, where there's like these little trenches of like land, and the water freezes there. And then these guys on a boat got stuck there. And then they had to get help from like the Eskimos. They're the only ones that live there that know how to like survive in that kind of crazy thing. And then all of a sudden, these people that are stuck on this ship in the ice start getting stalked by polar bears. They're stuck on the ice, and then polar bears are like, we're gonna eat.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat you guys. You're gonna wait till you start leaving, and we're gonna eat you guys.
This is true story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True story. It's crazy.
Dude, I don't know if
Good
you
watch.
guys know how big polar bears are, but
Bro.
I've seen one in real life.
Most terrifying thing ever.
Those things are giant creatures. They're freaking massive.
Yeah.
I saw one at the zoo a couple years ago, and I was like, that's a polar bear?
Yeah, dude.
Because you think like a bit, like,
And that's probably not even.
like it's full size.
Yeah, that's
like,
not full size, probably, right?
I mean, no. I mean, the
In captivity, you'll never see him full
no,
size.
in captivity,
Wow,
this
it's
polar
crazy.
bear was like the size of like, so you see this post right over here?
Yeah.
It's like its butt, and then its head is to the wall.
To the wall. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
It's huge,
Yeah,
dude.
something
It's a
that's like
massive creature.
12 feet tall. Like
Yeah. It's a
something
massive
that looks
creature. Polar
crazy.
bears
You're
are
like,
ridiculous.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, they'll just like, and they're ferocious too. So
Yeah.
I
San
would,
Diego too as well.
I would have just been like, I'm dying on this boat, dude. I'm not gonna get mauled up by starvation. Get me right now.
And then it's fucked up. So they're in they start getting poisoning. They start getting poisoned as well. So then they have to leave because they're getting poisoned from their like the stuff they have there. Like they have like their utensils are like getting like lead poisoning and shit like that. So they're like, we have to leave and get help. It's a crazy show, but it's wild how like all of the natives from all of these places know how to survive with just passed on like
Anytime,
knowledge.
anytime. Oh man,
And then somebody shows up in a boat and they're just kidding.
I feel like natives. I feel like most like it was a big mistake to be nice and like let's help these foreigners or let's heal them and then all of a sudden they just like
I know.
come take over and kill and
That's why there's those guys and those like and where's that? in Papua New Guinea that they'll just like as soon as they see somebody, they're like, no, you're not coming over.
Oh yeah. They can't even land on the water.
Yeah.
They're just getting
They just
bombarded
are
by
just
arrows.
By arrows, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like nobody's coming here.
Yeah. We're like, we don't want any foreigners. We don't want your stuff. We don't want your technology.
No.
We want to live primitive. We're living
We're
off
good.
the land. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an island
There's
like
no
that.
welcoming flags. It's arrows.
Yeah.
It's arrows.
There's an island in Hawaii, in the state called Niihau, and it's like that. You're not like no one's allowed on that island, and they don't speak English. They only speak Hawaiian. But when like the foreigners or like Westerners came to Hawaii, the common cold killed like half of the Hawaiians there. Like
Damn,
small
wow.
things like
Yeah,
that. You
little
know?
things like
little
that.
diseases. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes sense.
That's insane.
Let's get back on to tattooing.
I know. It's so much good information.
Sorry, I
can't
told you.
help it.
It's
No,
sad.
I mean, that's great. It's cool.
Is there a tattoo convention in Hawaii?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's called the Hawaii Tattoo Expo now, but it used to be called the Pacific Ink and Art Expo. I think the first year I actually volunteered there, and that was really cool. And then I think I attended like 4 or 5 more. So they're on their, I think, 10th now.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope though. Through that convention, I met some fucking crazy people, dude. Like Norm, Bug. Like I tattooed a cross from Freddie Negretti once.
Mhm.
Nice.
Tattoo Baby was like right next to me.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was huge. It's huge for Hawaii too, and I think Big Me's is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, Big Me's is dope.
So he was there,
Cool.
and I got to meet him, and we would like everyone goes out and parties after, like on Waikiki. So it's sick.
Is there a
You
pig
get-
roast after?
Nice.
A pig roast,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, I would love that. Yum.
Yeah, you just got to go meet all the Hawaiian artists. I'm sure they do it out there.
For sure. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, you guys should come.
Yeah. Many years ago when I was doing a lot of conventions, that's the one convention where like everybody was going to Hawaii and I'm like, I'm going to Europe. and then I'm like, I should have went to Hawaii at least one time.
You know, we call it a pernil, where you roast the
The whole pig.
whole pig.
Yeah.
Like a lot of different cultures do it.
You put it on is it a spick or like what is it called?
A spike.
Yeah, sometimes it's a spike. Sometimes it's just like they open it up and flatten them out.
Yeah.
It really depends, but it's always a long cook and just meat falls off. Like it's all just like,
Interesting. Okay, so we do something in a
super
emu.
tender.
Yeah, so we have a thing called an emu, and we do it for like luau's and stuff, like
Yeah.
baby parties, graduations, or just hunters will just do it to feed their family. So get a whole pig, prepare it, and it's like this huge hole in the ground, and they have hot rocks.
I seen that.
Yeah, so
I've seen that.
they'll wrap it in like banana leaves and all these tarps, and they sits there for like what, a day, 2 days. So it's very similar.
Wow.
Like that practice is traditional.
I'm assuming that there's people who are like tattooing friends out of their houses that never got an apprenticeship, right?
Probably, yeah.
Are any of them practicing on pigskin? Is that a thing over there?
I don't even know where to get pigskin unless it was from an actual pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably easier to get than just pigskin. Like
Yeah, you go to your butcher
pig.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
right.
go in the mountain.
Oh, go in the mountain.
You'll see baby pigs and pigs running around the roads,
What?
especially in the mountains. Yeah, Pua. So the pig is
Native
named
to the
Pua.
islands?
Are they native? They were probably brought over. I don't know how far. I'm not really sure. But the Hawaiian word is Pua, and like they call Pua in Moana is pig. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. What are the traditional, Polynesian tools like tattooing? What are they made of?
For Hawaiians, yeah. So they could use bone. They could use I think I've heard of like shark teeth. It's different though from like culture to culture. The top Suluape in Samoa, I forget who it was. There was a Suluape. So Suluape is like a master tattoo artist within the family. So it's a family of master tattoo artists. And there's also like Tufuka. So that's just master tattoo artists. But the Suluape are more special. They're like the originators of these. There was a Suluape that came to Hawaii a few years ago, maybe like 7 years ago. And it was a Polynesian cultural get-together. And around this time, that Suluape was reteaching with traditional Samoan tools to Filipinos, to Eskimos, to Maori, to Hawaiian, to Tonga, to revitalize the culture, because we all come from the same place and we technically use very similar design or tools. So he was actually doing that, and some of the tattoo artists in Hawaii, they use that stuff too now because they learned from the Samoan master tattoo artists. Your guys' lace, you too, those are kupuinas. That the soot from that was used as ink in Hawaii.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to try and make the soot and then use it for paint. That would be cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, but every place has a different thing. I heard maybe coconut in Samoa, but back in the day. Now they're very like up to date. Yeah.
When Ozzy was saying Sualape, I didn't understand what he was saying. I thought that was a name, but it's a title.
Yeah, it's a title, and it's only given. I might be wrong. They might be given from the Suluape family. But you can be a master tattoo artist too, probably in Samoa, but not be given the title Suluape. So like there's a tattoo artist in Hawaii. His name is Keone Nunes. So he is one of the only like traditional Hawaiian tattoo artists. He was given the title Suluape. There's also a Tongan Suluape.
How are you giving that title?
By another Suluape, if I'm not mistaken.
Makes sense.
It's a very special title, and anyone who holds that is like master.
Is that like Hori?
Probably, yeah.
Probably kind of like a Hori, yeah.
It sounds similar. Just to get the tattoo itself, you go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing to be given that title, you go through a lot of shit. So like, for example, like Keone Nunes, just to do his tattoos, he goes through ceremonies. Like he will wake up in the morning and like clean his machines in the ocean and pray over them before he uses them. That's just a small little portion of what he does.
This is every time?
I think so. But that's a part of the Hawaiian culture. It's like there's a lot of protocols to everything you do. And if you don't do it correctly, then it's not correct. And going over to like tattooing too, there's like a proper way of tattooing almost, like with what you guys do. Not as like crazy cultural, but it's kind of similar, you know? Yeah, we're way more connected with like the land and their gods and stuff in Hawaii.
So do you do any of that stuff? Like, or do you?
I try to. Yeah.
Because you said that you have like one bigger client in the first part of the day and then a smaller piece. You treat them equally the same as far as like your rituals before tattooing? Oh,
it's not always Polynesian. I'm sorry. Like I don't do only. I do everything, like honestly. But if I'm doing Polynesian, depends on who I'm doing it on. Like last week, I tattooed my cousin. It was his first tattoo for his 18th birthday. Before we did it, it was a half sleeve. I asked his mom from both sides of his family if they had amakuas, where they were from, what they wanted the tattoo to represent. So an amakua is kind of like a guardian animal, kind of. They go through families. So families will have an amakua. And so that's one design that you can use. And so that's just like protection and guidance. For my cousin, I chose specific designs because where he plans to be and going forward, it's like knowing that his kupuna, like his ancestors, are with him and they're guiding him. So all the designs are put together in a certain way that it reads that if you read it. So family designs, also his half of his dad's from the mountains or from the ocean, put it all together. And it's for him, yeah. I heard a really beautiful way of Polynesian tattoos put together. It was like, as an artist, you learn these symbols and then you keep like adding on to your knowledge of the symbols. And it's almost like a musician where when you meet somebody, you write them a song. And the more like notes that you know, you can more beautifully put a song together. I thought that was such a beautiful way to put it.
That's cool.
That is very nice, yeah.
It's gotta be interesting to like think of when you're doing a Polynesian tattoo. There's so much history and just like a story being told in the tattoo, and then you said you do other things besides like your second tattoo of the day is probably quick bangers.
Army tattoo,
right?
Dude, or something fucking sick. Like I love sick shit. Like I don't know, I love everything like anime or like dark grungy shit. Like I'm telling you, like I'm in the modern world too.
Yeah.
So like man, if I get some weird stuff,
That's cool.
so stoked.
Yeah, it's like switching it up. It's like changing channels.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It was a good talk, good chat.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for your knowledge.
Thank you for coming out here. It was a far trip, but
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me an excuse to come out here.
good. Well, thank you for coming out. Thank you for giving us these.
Yeah,
These are
super special.
awesome.
Thank you.
And thank you so
Yeah,
much
you're sick. I can't wait
for
to
sharing your story
my
with
kids.
us. That's special. Thank you.
So you said what theirs are made of. What is this made out of?
Shells.
Shells.
Seashells.
Easy.
I wish you would have done that. I would like, please tell me it was made out of sperm jizz. Like whale jizz. It's dried whale jizz, right?
I think the name of that shell is Spooky.
You were the
Cool pee.
you're the whitest one in the group.
Look, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, Kai, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for making the trip.
And guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.